All right, we're live on YouTube, and I got to go over here and go live over here to go live on the Facebook.
I like to sing a sea shanty as we get prepared.
All right, we're prepared now, so at any moment you could be quiet.
I thought I heard the old man say, "Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
Wow, you realize
Tomorrow you will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her."
that is our Facebook fans' first introduction to the Leroy and Earl Show.
Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you now so we can start the show. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to WUED The Big Talker on the Leroy and Earl Show. This is an iHeartRadio podcast. And now live from the Discount Wheelie Studio, deep underground somewhere in Northeast Ohio, here's your hosts, Chuck Jones and the Big Chief, Billy Carleeezy.
Guess what, shift heads? It's time for the Leroy and Earl Show.
All right, welcome to WUEG, the Big Talker, on the Leroy and Earl Show. And we are live absolutely everywhere on the planet right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Podbean, and we're live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook people, everyone listening. Wow, it says there's 300 people watching right now. Oh, no, that's 0. Sorry. What's up there, Big Chief?
I'm pissed that you cut off my song. That's all.
Which song?
The sea shanty I was singing.
I don't feel like I cut you off. I let you finish it.
I didn't finish it.
But you started again.
No, I was going, and we're not live on YouTube, by the way.
We're not.
Live there.
It says we are.
No, sir.
It sure says we are.
It's lying to you, sir.
It says we've been live for 2 minutes and 57 seconds. So
it's
I don't know what
lying
to
to you, sir. I don't see nothing.
I don't know what to tell you. So check
refreshing. Hold on.
Check the Facebook page.
Nope.
Michelle will know. She'll tell you.
Yeah, but if we're not live, how will she tell us?
I don't know. Well, it says we're live. There's nothing else I can do about it beyond that. If it says,
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? What could I do? Tell me, what could I do?
Here's the real question. We had 32 subscribers. What happened to those 2 people, huh? Where'd they go?
We had 4 live listeners last week on YouTube, and they were commenting as well, not just listening.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 4 live listeners on Podbean and 2 live call-ins on Podbean last week, it was great. The audio was great. Oh, by the way, you can call us at 330-474-WUED. It does work. I checked it before the show, double-checked it, made sure everything was set up right. So if you're listening, Dave, if you're out there, give it one more college try and give us a shout-out here at WUED, the Big Talker, on the Leroy and Earl Show. Tonight, we got lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Lots of stuff. But the first thing I want to talk about is the show.
Bingo!
Wow. Bingo. You got bingo already?
I got bingo already. Holy shit.
Actually, I didn't want to talk about the show as much as the new website, LeroyandEarl.com, that went up a few months or a month ago or whatever, has been revamped again. There's some more great stuff on there. You can go check it out. There's an archives page. You can donate now. The donate button is back. Yay.
Oh, nice.
For all you people that just wish you could donate to the show to keep it going.
Very nice.
You can donate. And there's I forget what else I added. I'm going to have to look and see what else I added on the LeroyandEarl.com.
So it's LeroyandEarl.com, right?
Correct. There's a social media page, which is not that big a deal. But on the main page, you can go straight to listening to the most recent episode. You can listen, download, subscribe. And I left up a pertinent episode, 186, The Great Quelling. That's when we got rid of Leroy. And there's a link to listen live on Podbean, donate, like I said, and all the other places you can listen to the show. And as you heard in the intro, did you hear the intro?
I did.
Leroy came in the studio and made us an intro. I thought it sounded great. He's got that perfect radio voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Almost as good as mine.
Almost. So, yeah, he's got that perfect radio voice. So he came in last week and did us a spot so I can play that every week instead of me trying to remember all that stuff. This is an iHeartRadio podcast, all that stuff. And so that's really all I wanted to say about the show, other than here we are, the Leroy and Earl Show on WED, the Big Talker. And you can call us at 330-474-9883, or you can join us live on Podbean. It looks like, I think... Michelle just says, how come you guys aren't on YouTube?
I told you.
It's not that I didn't believe you.
We're going to be partners, man. We got to make this work, okay?
I don't know what to say. I'm looking at my screen. It says we're live. So what else could I do? I guess I could end it and start again. But I don't want to do that. Oh, well. So,
very disappointed.
Real quick, before I ask you a big question, that song I played in the intro, after Leroy's intro, was a new release by Static X. You ever heard of Static X?
Yes, great band.
So, of course, I never know whether you're telling the truth when you say stuff like that, because I know you do like to listen to some metal.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, do you really know who Static X is, or you just?
Yeah. I love them.
So if you know Static X, you know that the singer Wayne Static, whose voice is very distinguished, died some years ago. It's been a while now that he passed away. But they are now this year 10 years. It's been 10 years since their last studio album. They're releasing a full album with him singing. They had so much music, tracks recorded. And stuff that they're able to put out they're going to put out 2 whole full-length albums with all new guitars and instruments but his voice.
Jeez.
Which I think is really interesting. It's different. You don't see that happen very often, that if someone dies and then, years later they can put out music with him, with that singer. So anyway.
Didn't that happen with Michael Jackson?
I think it did. Yeah, probably, because he had such a bunch of stuff. So anyway,
these guys are just copycatting Michael Jackson.
Who's not, right? Everybody copycats the king of pop.
That's a good point.
The king of pop. You were not here last week. You missed a interesting show. I think I told you a little bit about it. And you were on a cruise, and we want to hear all about your cruise.
Jeez.
Let's hear it.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, cruising, it's the way of life. You're not going to find any nicer people in the entire world than cruise people. Okay.
You're talking about the people who are actually taking the cruise or the workers?
Both. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how they are doing emotionally, but the face that they give us when we see them out and about is always pleasant. Very pleasant. They are always happy to see you and say hi, and whatever region of the world they're in. Our cruise director was from London, and
really, what was his name?
Marty,
because my cruise director was from London.
Ooh,
but he was Chinese.
They like the ethnic types,
but he was Chinese. Cruises.
You what?
He was Chinese. But he was from London, so he was Chinese with a. Yeah,
that's scary.
He was Chinese with a British accent.
Jeez,
it was a bit confusing.
That must have been like, did you take a picture of him?
It was a bit confusing. No, I didn't take a picture of him.
You should have took a picture of him.
Why? You can't hear him in the picture.
That'd be funny to kind of put 2 and 2 together.
But you weren't on.
Anywho, we had a person from Turkey, and a person from not very ethnic North Carolina. It was okay. But yeah, a bunch of people. And there were some Chinese people on board, which could have been hit or miss, because they could have had coronavirus. I could have coronavirus right now. So you better watch out for me the next couple of days. They actually asked before you get on board, have you been in contact with anyone who's been to China in the past 20 days? And have you been to China in the past 14 days? I don't know why there's a difference between days, because either way, you've been in China in the past couple of weeks. But they were very strict on that. We had to fill out this health survey and everything before we could even board the boat. But like, it's just a health survey, so I could fib it and go on the cruise, no problem. Like, anyone could fib it.
Fib it?
Yeah. Like fib.
Oh, lie.
Yes. Not Fitbit, but fib it.
Fib it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say fib it.
Yeah, fib it. You never heard the word fib?
I know
fib. Ever teach you a new word?
I know. No, I've heard lying is referred to fibbing. I've just never heard anyone say fib it.
Well, like the Beatles once said, I'm just talking about my generation.
So we have 2 viewers on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks.
We're
Thanks
supposed
for
to be
listening to my cruise talk, and I don't have coronavirus as of yet. We'll keep the countdown going, though.
There's a lot of people sick around us. You know that?
There is, yeah.
And it's scary. Because I believe that someday something's going to wipe out a huge portion of the population of this planet within a short period of time, like a meteor or a disease. I think it's like, I think it's just a matter of time, don't you think?
What about dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs come back? Like Jurassic Park kind of thing?
Why not?
Because that's ridiculous. That's not realistic. Come on. Come on, man.
Look, man, I'm just you got to be optimistic about these things.
Well, to me, it's not that, to me, it's not being pessimistic. The reality is nothing lasts forever, including this planet. And even if it's lasted 80 million years, it's probably going to, blow up someday or something like that. I was talking to somebody, it was my kids who are older. And they were talking about being green and going green and worrying about the environment and the planet. And I was like, I understand all that. I understand why it might make you feel good. But in reality, it's a huge waste of time. Because the reality is something's going to happen to destroy everything anyway. I mean, what's the difference if you don't use plastic? Now, I understand if you're going to, don't do things that are going to immediately harm sea life or whatever. But to worry about, the long... And they kept saying, well, you're not worried about it because you're going to be dead soon.
Jeez, kids.
Right.
Yeah, I think also the government's they're all about pushing the electric stuff because they can make more money that way.
Yeah.
Another way for them to make money.
Follow the dollars. That's what I say. So did anything weird or interesting happen on your cruise, or was it just pretty normal?
Weird or interesting. No, nothing weird. Interesting wise, shit, man. Yeah, it was just kind of straightforward, relaxing. I didn't encounter anything weird. There were talks of a game that they play called the Quest game or something like that, where you bring a bag of random things, and apparently some of the passengers were taking off bras and stuff because the host would, whoever comes up to me with a bra or a pack of condoms or stuff like that, wins a point or something like that.
Wow.
So I'm glad I skipped out on that because the last thing I want to see is naked old ladies on a cruise boat.
I like how you emphasized old.
Yes, there's lots of old too. There's so many old people, man. Holy shit! Like they were all like, there were so many wheelchairs. I've only cruised twice, but it's like a drastic difference from our first cruise. There were so many people.
Did you say Jurassic?
Drastic.
It sounded like Jurassic, which would fit.
Good.
It's funny.
Yes, also that. But there were so many people in wheelchairs and canes and like walkers, like barely making it around the ship. And it's like, I guess if you're going to go out, you might as well go out on a cruise in the middle of the ocean.
Now, I got to ask you this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I went on a cruise, and when I came back, I was accused of being racist for pointing out the large percentage of African Americans that were on the cruise. I feel like I should call you ageist for your observation.
Interesting concept.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
I was called a racist.
Did you know though that you are a racist?
Oh yes.
Am I a racist?
No, not by any means. And you know who else is not a racist in my books now?
Who?
Papa John's.
You know, I haven't heard anything about that yet.
I listened to a 2-hour podcast with him, and I gotta say, man, I believe the guy now.
What was he accused of? I wasn't even really paying attention.
He was accused of saying the N-word, aka being racist.
Okay, so that brings me to a point that I wanted to talk about.
God, here we go.
This has to do with the movie Loquisha that we talked about a few weeks ago. Okay,
Shit, let me move that up. Huh?
you don't have to move the Trello board around. No, we talked about the movie Loquisha. For those who don't know, it's this really low budget, not that great B movie about this guy who wants to get into radio, and he's a bartender, and gives like really good advice. And this woman who walks in, and he gives her advice, and she says, she shows him an ad. You got to go try out for this radio station, because you give such good advice. So he goes down there, and they don't hire him. That's not what they're looking for. So he goes home, and he gets this idea that he's gonna call the radio station back and change his voice to sound like a black woman, which he, other than just going like this, he didn't change his voice any. Which that movie would have actually been fun if he could have changed his voice to actually sound like a black woman. But the fact that he didn't, but everyone around him thought he did, what made the movie suck. But anyway, so he starts talking like this, and it's too much to explain. But basically, they love him. Then he acts all eccentric and like, you can't see me, and he like sneaks in the middle of the night and does a show, and he gets all famous. But anyway, long story short, this movie was lambasted on YouTube and its social media about how racist it was.
I'm really surprised that you watched the whole thing.
I did. I had to. I just had to, because of the whole Leroy thing. It kind of hit home with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and here's why: because I was accused of being unwoke, and even being accused of being racist. And what really hit me about the whole thing was, I was watching Frank Caliendo. I'm sure you know who he is.
Love Frank. Love him.
And he was doing some spot on impressions. I mean, just nailing these impressions. And I'm like, wait a minute. If he did an impression of a black person, would he be considered racist?
He does Charles Barkley all the time.
Right. So why is he not racist?
Because it's a celebrity.
So if you just impersonate a stereotype, it's what I'm saying is, if you're saying something, if you're saying racist content, you know what I mean? That's what kills me is, how is it racist if you're just imitating someone else's voice that just happens to be a stereotype? You know what I mean? So yeah, that whole thing just we're just so sensitive in this day and age about race stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
easily, dude. You kidding me?
It's just crazy.
Everyone's getting canceled. You got to be on your toes. That's why I'm kind of nervous for Eddie Murphy. I hope that when he does his stand-up, that he won't like wuss out and like just try to say things that are like PC, joke about PC things. But like, I want him to go after like Bill Cosby, like he did at his one award acceptance thing, and like people got pissed at that, but he didn't care. Oh yeah, you already got that. Nice.
Yeah, no problem. I just noticed it there. Michelle's listening on Podbean and Facebook. Now that's a fan.
Hi, Michelle.
That's a fan. She said
no, she's on. Is this coming through Facebook?
Facebook.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook through StreamYard, which is an awesome free video streaming service that we're using now. And if we were live on YouTube, which I don't think we are, but if we were, you would see this also.
We're not.
It says we are, and I don't know what else to do about it.
It's okay. Michelle's right. I'm right. You're
Well,
wrong.
I'm not saying we're not, but if it's recording it, I just want to record it. You know what I mean? I don't want to stop it and then start it again. Then we'll have nothing. So I'd rather just leave it. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not, there'd be no show on YouTube this week.
I'm pissed just thinking
A
about
little
that.
bit. I'm just buying a huge, freaking, gigantic computer for the show. Basically, I'm getting it dirt cheap, but it's super powerful. That's why we're able to be live on all these places at the same time. So I don't know if the not live on YouTube is a glitch or what. But anyway, I'm fine with Podbean and Facebook right now, and all of that stuff. So you said no real interesting things on the cruise, just normal. It's like nothing crazy happened. You know, some people have
Dude,
crazy
yeah.
stories. You know.
No, man, it was so relaxing, bro. Like the water, so blue. I was like, it's crazy how dirty Lake Erie is. I'm like, I've never imagined this blue of water. But yeah, I mean, I guess the one crazy thing is we played bingo a couple nights, and I actually won a free cruise playing bingo. That's pretty big. I should have mentioned that.
A free cruise.
Yeah, which I
Nice.
didn't want to do it because I was like, I just missed out on almost $1,000. It was the round before that, and the cruise was like the big round, and I was like, I'm scared. And I was like, man, like that would have been better than this free cruise. Even before I knew all the stipulations, now looking at all the stipulations is like, oh wow, there's actually a lot to this. Like you have to do it really quick. Like it's like they really don't want you to do it.
Right. Yeah.
They want you to do it so fast that you don't have a chance to like double think, or like they want you to not have the off time or the money.
Right.
It's like, holy crap, man. Why would you even give away the free cruise if you like
Yeah.
want to put people through this?
That was the same thing when I got the 50% off thing. You had to use it in such a short period of time, and you were limited on what you could do. Plus, I had to pay for half of it, so that's why we didn't do it.
Right. Yep.
That's why
That's
we
pretty
decided,
much what's going to happen here.
decided not to do
I'll
it.
pay half the cost. Oh,
I guess we got a call coming in. Let me see if I can.
let's see if it works.
Let's see if I can get this here. What do? I got to do this.
I'm sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Hello, you're on the Leroy and Earl Show. Who's this?
Hey guys.
Oh, god damn it. Thought we were actually getting a goddamn call.
Leroy, is that you?
Yeah. Hey, I just thought I'd call in on the.
Hey, get the hell out of
I
here.
just thought. Whoa.
Easy. He's just. Are you bowling?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm calling in on Podbean. Did you know that?
That didn't sound like Podbean. That sounded like the the Hangouts ring.
Well, it's Podbean, and it's you guys are sounding pretty good. I'm not mad at all.
That's good to hear.
Hey, Carleeezy.
Get the hell out of here.
What's your deal, man? I heard you went on a cruise, man. That sounds pretty cool.
We don't take kindly to your types around here.
Oh, that's racist.
Yep.
Dude, are you serious?
Hey, Carleeezy.
What up?
You and I have a lot in common. I don't know why you don't like me. You took my place on the show, kicked me off the show, and then you talked Chuck
into sheriff.
You talked Chuck into firing me.
I did. He did not. I did that on my own.
I'll never believe that. I believe that Carleeezy talked you into firing me, but that's all right. I'm living with it. But I can't believe I can't call into my own show and talk to one of the hosts without being treated poorly. It feels like racism. That's what it feels like.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's a new sheriff in town. You better get used to it, buddy.
The law don't go around here, law dog. Listen, I got to tell you guys something, and I've been thinking about this a lot.
That better not be a joke or I'm going to kill you.
It's not a joke.
Okay.
It's for real, yo. It's for shizzle my nizzle real.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Listen. I'm gonna get this show back. I will.
No, you're not. Don't even start.
I will get this show back. And I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to get your two sorry asses off the show. And I'm going to I'll get back in the saddle with Earl by my side. And we will be back to our former glory.
That'll never, ever happen. I can guarantee you, Earl is never coming back to the show.
Money talks and BS walks, bitches.
Hey, he just swung by the other day. I mean, anything's possible.
He did, but, it wasn't Earl, actually. It was James Crash. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, Leroy.
Yeah.
Are you in a bowling league or something?
No, I just hang out here at the Bowl and Spin on Wednesday nights. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of get drunk because of the show. So every Wednesday I come down here and get hammered, shit-faced, and I'm basically drunk, drive home. No, I don't do that. I don't drive drunk. I take a Uber.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost went into an area there I didn't want him to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys. I don't drive. I would never drive drunk. Never. And I'm a big boy, so I can drink quite a bit. But yeah, I'm still upset. I'm still upset you stole the show from me, and I will take it back. And screw you guys. Goodbye.
Oh,
wow.
Dude.
That was unexpected.
You were telling him to chill out?
I thought he was chilled out, although I don't, the reality is I expect that I'll never hear the end of it. Never. Never. So on a lighter note, we're not live on YouTube.
Yep.
You sure we're not? I don't know why.
10 points to Gryffindor.
Hey, look at that. It says we're live. It says we're streaming. All that bull crap. So this week on Twitter, we have some big news. Guess who liked one of our tweets?
Oh, God. Was it Bernie Sanders?
It was not Bernie Sanders. It was.
That's who I'm voting for. Yeah, let's get political here for a second. Those could be paid off.
Stop. Hey, as soon as you said you were voting for Bernie Sanders, I muted you.
Oh, really?
Just so you know. So anything you said after that, you have to repeat.
Vote for Bernie Sanders because my loans will be paid off. And I said, woo!
Oh, because he's going to give everything to everybody.
Yeah, I'm just trolling. Everyone on the internet's trolling people who are voting for Bernie Sanders. I know a little political that people are trolling. That's good.
So if this show were to, if we were to go totally political and make this show like skyrocket, would you do it?
No,
you
I would do it. I love Michelle too much to do that to her.
We would lose Michelle and Dave. That's at least half of, if not 3/4 of our audience.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, a very famous person liked one of our tweets this week.
Bernie Sanders.
It was not a politician. It was a comedian and an actor.
Bernie Sanders.
With over 14 million followers on Twitter.
Oh, Larry David, who plays Bernie Sanders.
He liked one of our tweets, and it was Ricky Gervais.
You just mute me to say that?
I did not mute you. No, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that again. That's not cool.
Dictatorship here, I see.
If you could hear that you were muted, that would be great, but you can't. So, yeah, Ricky Gervais liked one of our tweets. The tweet happened to be, I don't remember the exact words, but I basically put, it would really mean we're big Ricky Gervais fans. It would mean the world to us if he liked this tweet.
Are you speaking as two people?
I was speaking for you.
You were speaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Ricky Gervais.
What's wrong with you?
Well, now let me tell you why. Okay, I am a diehard Office fan, and
no, you're not.
Excuse me. I actually started watching The Office UK first. That was my first love, and then the American version came out, and I was like, "Wow, this is way better." So then I started hating Ricky Gervais from there.
How can we have this conversation if I don't know you're telling the truth?
You don't know I'm telling the truth?
I know you don't like The Office.
Look at me. Look at my eyes.
I am looking at you.
I love The Office.
And do you also love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Of course. Who doesn't?
And you love Breaking Bad?
Who doesn't?
You don't.
Yeah, I really. Now I know why Leroy left, because you're just accusing me of all these things.
He didn't leave. We fired him. You talked me into it.
I talked to. I wasn't even here when you fired
You
him.
talked me into firing him.
I wasn't even here. Where was I? Where was I that episode? I was somewhere.
I don't remember if you were on the show yet. Were you? No. Were you? I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, what was I saying? No, seriously. I know you don't like The Office.
Michelle says she doesn't know what's true anymore.
I got to tell you, there's two things I thought about bringing you on as a co-host, and one of my doubts was the fact that you are so good at lying. You're so dry. Your sense of humor is so dry that I really don't know when you're telling the truth. But I know when you've told me in the past that you don't like something and you've made fun of it, unless you were lying in the first place. So how am I supposed to know? How are we going to carry on a conversation? How is this going to work?
Here's the thing. You don't, I don't even give you the full power most of the time. You're getting like 60% power.
Well, I'm glad I'm not getting full power.
Yeah, I don't go, I don't really go full sarcasm. Bad things happen when I go full sarcasm.
Bad things happen to other people or to you?
Both. When I go, when it's full sarcasm, it's over. I make enemies that way because I'm just too sarcastic.
Well, yeah.
You know?
When you pass a certain level of sarcasm, it becomes complete assholery.
Right.
You know
yeah,
what I
it can turn into that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I'm sitting about 60%, which isn't bad. So I mean, there's that.
But there are some conversations that we can't have because you won't be serious. Like we're trying to talk about Ricky Gervais, and he liked one of our tweets, and ironically, he was the only one to like it.
That's very strange.
Right.
I think it was definitely his PR
No,
people.
don't do that to me. I've been on cloud 9 since he liked that tweet.
I'm pretty sure that's his PR team.
Don't ruin it for me.
Look, if you're a big celebrity, you think you have time to be scrolling on every single tweet?
Of course not.
And liking them?
I know he does. And he comments on a lot of them too, which means there's no way it's him. But anyway,
it's a fake account.
So if you haven't watched the show Afterlife on Netflix, starring Ricky Gervais, I'm telling you, you got to watch it. It's not long. It's only like 8 episodes. They're only like 20 minutes apiece. It is well worth watching. So,
what is it about?
It's kind of a sad story, but it's funny at the same time. It's about this guy whose wife passes away of cancer and his trying to adjust to that and life. And it's very moving. It's actually very well written, well acted. And there's times in it's just hilarious, and there's times you want to cry, and it's amazing. It's
a documentary, or is it a show?
No, it's a show. It's a fictional show.
So it's not real.
Correct. It's not real, like most things on TV.
And you felt emotional.
Yeah, it's it's about things that happen in real life. People do die, and people do have to carry on. But I don't.
Yeah, but you never get emotional.
I used to. I mean, as I'm getting older, I'm losing more and more of my feeling. It's like as you get older, your body goes numb. So does your feelings and your brain. You know? It's like
is that how it works?
Yeah. My son was trying to be mean to me the other day. He was trying to hurt me, and I said, "You know what, son? My soul is like that like a glob of black tar on the road in the summertime. You could slam it with a hammer all you want. It's just going to change shape a little. You can't break it. You know what I mean? So."
That's a great description. Yeah. Your soul is black as tar.
Right. It's hot tar in the summer. Don't forget that part. So anyway, Ricky Gervais liked our tweet. Check it out. Check out Afterlife. And Afterlife Season 2 is coming up soon. I'm so excited. I'm actually a little leery because when a show is so good and then they do a second season, because it kind of ends. It isn't one of those ones that leaves you hanging. Like you can watch the first season and be done with it. You know, it's not like some shows where you're like, dang it, now you got to wait a year for the next show, whatever. Like Better Call Saul, Season 5 starting up this weekend. I just finished Season 4. I know you love that show, don't you?
I haven't said anything. I'm just smiling away, man. It's a good
whatever.
Good time. I'm glad you're enjoying that show.
Before I forget, happy Black History Month.
Hey, it's almost over. Perfect timing.
See, whenever somebody tells me there's no such thing as racism against African Americans, I always say, yes, look at Black History Month. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? We gave them February. Number one, there's only 28 days. So that's saying like, well, we want to get this over with.
Wait, this year's 29, buddy.
Every 4 years is 29. Okay. And then and February is the crappiest month of the year. By far, hands down, there's no worse month than February, at least in Northeast Ohio. I don't know about where other people are listening, but I'm sure in Australia
I'm
it's
going to
fine.
have to disagree with you there. I'm going to say, now follow me
About
here.
the Black History Month or February being the worst month?
February's definitely up there. But August and
August is an excellent month.
excuse me, August and June
What?
are terrible months.
What about July?
July's fine.
Okay,
And
why?
the reason why I base this off of the fact that there's no off days of work during those 31-day months.
There's only one day off in July. I mean, what's...
Yeah, but that's a day off of work. Sorry, June is 30 days. July is the 31. Yeah.
So it's even.
Right.
So
but the months suck so much ass because there's no off day to look forward to. You have to wait till the entire next month to get off of work, unless you use your vacation day if you want to. But you're just working 25 days or however many weeks.
Do you hate your job or something? I mean, what's the big... How are you comparing what good month is by how many days you get off? February...
Let's just say... Oh, okay. Speaking
and
of
why are
job,
you going completely away from the racial part of this comment?
We'll come back to that.
It's
in
steering
the,
away from the
Trello
part.
board.
Wow.
80% of people hate their job.
Hate. Like
their
not just dislike, but hate it. Like they would say the word hate.
Dislike, hate, same thing. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, okay.
80%. Do you like your job?
That's a tough question. It's weird because my first instinct is to say no, I don't like it, but I don't hate it at all. It's just tolerable. It's just there. It's just kind of it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I would not put myself in the 80% that says they hate it. I don't dread getting up in the morning.
Well, I think everyone dreads getting up in the morning unless they're a morning person.
To go to work. I mean, I don't dread that where I got to go, what I got to do. So I guess I could say I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the same boat too, where it's like it's not hard. Could be worse, but it's not. Worse. It's not like woohoo, my job.
Right.
It's like you said, it's tolerable.
I don't know exactly what you do for a living, but I feel like you should be making 10% more.
10%, yes. Exactly, 10% more. That'd be awesome. But like all my jobs in the past, I've truly disliked. Besides
all of them?
Besides 2 jobs ago, which is the same job I have now. So that doesn't work. But every job before, I mean, well, I guess technically I was a DJ, a paid DJ for a while. That was okay. But it's like jobs just suck, man. Why do we have to work 40 hours a week?
I don't know.
Who made that rule? Why is that still a rule?
Well, it probably was more than that at one point. In fact, I know it was. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, before the unions came around, people were working as long as their bosses made them, and if they didn't work that long, they'd fire them and get somebody else. So that I mean, I think we're actually pretty lucky compared to past generations. Now, I don't know about other countries. I've heard stories about other countries that only work 30 hours a week or whatever. They get blah, 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 and all that stuff. But
30 hours is the new 40 over there.
I wish it was here.
Or even 410, that'd be kind of okay with that. But
yeah, I don't know if I could do that in my current job. I mean,
probably
I could.
not.
I mean, if I was told that was what I was going to do, I would take advantage of it. But I had a job before the job I'm at now. I actually had a job that I actually, part of it, not all of it, but a major part of what I had to do, I actually would say I loved it.
Really?
Yes. It's something I would do for free, I would, you know what I mean, if I could.
Damn.
And basically, it was just delivering things in a pickup truck. I had my own truck, a work truck, and a trailer. And
You were an Uber driver?
no, I delivered construction supplies, but it wasn't. I didn't need a crane or any of that. It wasn't that kind of stuff. It was all stuff you could load and unload with your hands. But I drove all over, within 4-hour radius, probably actually an 8-hour radius. So there were lots of days I was just driving all day long, and I, listen to the radio, smoke my cigars, and drink some, Budweiser's. No, I drink an iced coffee. I loved that. So, I loved being out on the road, and I always thought about being a truck driver, but I didn't want to be away from home that much. But this job I'm talking about, it was just local. I was home every day, and it was just great. I missed that job. Why are you saying this show sucks?
I just want to see how quickly you would see that.
It instantly popped up because I just happened to be looking right at it. We're live on Facebook through StreamYard, and there's a chat there that Michelle is in, and Mr. Carleeezy, which you used your real name. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's from my Facebook.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I used your real name on last week's show, too, by accident.
Oh, my God.
Not your whole name, just your first name.
Oh, no. Now everyone knows my job.
Yeah, I was...
that's one thing I got rid of, too, on Facebook. And we got to go back to Black History Month, I know. But, I have all this information on Facebook. And one day I was just like, why do I have all of this information on Facebook? I had my entire job history, the cities where I've lived, email addresses, contact information, all this information, who I'm married to, which is fine. But it's why am I giving Facebook? Why am I giving Facebook all this information? Who cares? Where I used to work as a cashier when I was 18. Why is all this information on Facebook? Right. It's because Facebook, they fucking want you to fill out all this information. They keep asking you. You should make your profile more noticeable to others. It's well, why? Why do you want me to fill out all this information? But you can find out a bunch of shit about someone who doesn't have their Facebook locked or private,
right?
And you can see that's where the term Facebook stalk come from, where people just, oh, she's single, she's married, oh, she lives here, she works here, I'm gonna go visit her because I see where she works. It's just Facebook's too powerful with that. So no one will know anything about me if they go to my page.
That's good. And they probably will.
Plus, they don't know where I work because that's on there. So, but you did share it to your personal page, so the mutual friends that we have, if they were to look at it, now they know our work.
I shared it to my personal page. It's live on the Leroy and Earl page, right? Did you even check it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's how I commented my post. But then they could go to the page, and
I don't care.
So they would.
Yeah, I could care less.
I know. I'm saying they would be the only people who would know any info about me. Anyone else?
If anybody out there wants to stalk me on my face, please. I got nothing else to do. Come on over.
Come on over.
Right over here is another microphone. You could be on the Leroy and Earl show. On WED, the Big Talker. So, get back to Black History Month.
Sorry.
Well,
what were you saying now? Is it racist that it's the shortest month?
I just, I think it's when people say there's no racism, I think the fact that February is Black History Month is, if we were going to give black people a month, we should have gave them, something nice like May,
Ooh, yeah,
or June.
May has Memorial Day.
Or September or October, you know what I mean? But February, only the Super Bowl.
I wonder, and then why is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January? Why not? It should have made January Black History Month then, because that's a big part of all of it.
You would think so.
But
so anyway, happy Black History Month to you.
Thank you. I am proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be a Black History Month American as well.
Did you have any special plans for the month because of Black History? You went on a cruise.
Let's see here. I don't know. mean, I didn't get pulled over by any cops, so that's good. I would say that's a celebratory thing, because who knows where that can go in some areas.
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Has it ever happened?
Where I've gotten pulled over?
Because you're black, that you know.
There was one time I did get pulled over because of a license plate light, and I had a vibe coming from the cop that just didn't feel right.
Well, they do that all the time, though, looking for drunks. That's pretty common ploy.
But this dude passed me. We were going opposite directions, and he made a complete U-turn in the middle of the road to turn around and pull me over. So he had to rubberneck his whole body to look at my license plate light to see that it was out, and then he fucking flipped around and pulled me over.
What ended up happening then when he pulled you over?
He was like, you know why I pulled you over? No.
You should say because I'm black.
You made a complete U-turn. You're crazy.
Because I'm black.
He said, yeah, I noticed that your license plate light was out. What are you guys doing out here tonight?
Who are you with? Who are you with?
I was with one other person.
Your wife?
And I forgot where we were coming from, but we were coming through the city, so it could be a chance he was looking for drunk people. I'm not sure, but for him to I mean, he went. It was a 4-lane road, and he was in the furthest lane, and I was in the furthest lane opposite each other. And he completely turned around to pull us over just for license plate light, and then he gave us a warning. Once he didn't probably smell weed or alcohol, we were good to go.
So you feel like there might have been some racial thing there, but because what you're describing sounds not racial at all. Like,
I don't think it was. I just had a weird vibe coming from him, man.
Well, that vibe is the fact that they do that. They pull people over for that. That's a bullcrap reason. License plate light. Just him saying that to you makes it feel like a weird vibe. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Yeah.
But there was nothing after that felt racial.
No, I mean, after that, I was like, okay. I'm just like, I've been taught, because I grew up in a family where most of my uncles on my dad's side, including my dad, were police officers. So I'm like, I know not to fuck with this guy. So I'm gonna, give him the respect he deserves, and I'm gonna, yes sir, yes, and I've been here. This is what I'm doing. Hands on the wheel. Just be as respectful as possible, and hopefully that'll be reciprocated. And in the end, I didn't get a ticket. Now, in some of these videos I see on Facebook, as you know, I like to watch these videos where people are recording cops and saying they're being racist or whatever. And like, sometimes they're like, they're yelling at the cops. They're like not rolling down their windows all the way and stuff. And I'm like, okay, some of it's like, maybe there's something wrong with this cop or there's a power problem, but also these guys are sometimes being a little, over the top with it. They're trying to cause something.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're trying to set up a scenario where someone does something wrong and you're making it so they can, that's just bullcrap. Those guys are terrible. Mm-hmm. They're making the problem worse. Yeah. So, well, anyway, I'm glad you're having a good Black History Month. I mean, you went on a cruise, so that makes a good Black History Month. Michelle can't see your comments on the StreamYard Facebook live stream, but I'm wondering if that's because you're logged in with me, but you can see me as the Leroy and Earl show. But anyway,
I commented on Facebook. I wonder if because my Facebook is so private.
You made the comment on Facebook?
Yeah, I made it on Facebook.
Oh, not in the actual chat?
No, I'm not logged into the chat.
That's why, but it showed up on there. I saw it.
Yeah, it shows up like it's Facebook.
That's weird. So this is new tonight for those listening. We're using StreamYard, which is pretty awesome so far. I like the fact that we can go live on YouTube because we weren't live on YouTube. We could go live on Facebook because we were not live on YouTube. Hopefully the video is recording, so maybe there'll be one there. Not, I don't care. So anyway, this is a part of the show where I'm like, do I even really want to do this anymore?
No, we did it.
Episode.
You're investing time. You got a computer now. I tell you what, man, I've been watching a lot of videos, and we've had this talk before. But I watch these videos of people who, start with 0 followers and with consistency. I mean, most of these people are talking a year and a half of consistency and quality. They do eventually get their videos monetized, and they start ranking in some money from places like that. So it's gonna take a while for sure. And I'm trying to work on my YouTube movie review channel and trying to formulate to maybe it's not just movie reviews, because there's 1,000 movie reviews, just like how you're talking about 1,000 podcasts and how can we stick out and stuff. And it's hard, man. It's just so saturated. But if the consistency is the killer, like people give up, and the people that I followed that started off the same time as me, one guy, he made up to 2K subscribers and then just fell off the face of the earth. He doesn't upload for like 6 months, and he got to 2K subscribers, and he was getting ads and everything. He just decided to quit one day. I know he's not dead, and this other guy is just like uploads whenever he wants. So, a year from now, your supercomputer and my new setup I'm getting, you better watch out, man.
Yeah,
you better watch out.
Looking forward to the new setup you're getting a new microphone and a soundboard. So, should sound a little better. It doesn't sound bad tonight. It's not bad.
Yeah, but it's gonna be even better.
Your video is just. I mean, you still look like.
Oh, I'm doing something with that
like
too.
You're hiding in the shadows.
Don't you worry. I'm gonna do something to where I don't need to do this. That's just too bright. It's too bright. It's too dark outside.
Yeah.
So I got something planned for that. I got something planned for that. Don't worry.
Yeah. So yeah. You talk about consistency and all that stuff.
Which before you start saying what you're saying, I can give you one of these. You've uploaded every week for the past, what is this?
Well, it's over
2 months.
2 months. It's been more than that.
No.
About 2 years.
You took a break. There's like a 6-month break in between there.
No, I haven't taken more than a couple of weeks off in probably 2 years. Because Earl came back and we did a year, and then I kept going. Now I was a little more sporadic. Like I did miss a few weeks in there, but for the most part, I never really stopped.
Well, according to YouTube,
you can't count YouTube. I'm just talking about the podcast. Because YouTube I didn't do. There was a time when I didn't do any YouTube. I was just doing the podcast.
You stopped uploading videos.
Right. I didn't do live on I wasn't live on YouTube, but I wasn't live anywhere for a short period of time. I just did the podcast like 90% of other people that do podcasts don't do it live.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's all pre-recorded and edited. I've learned so much from following about 3 different Facebook groups with hundreds of thousands of people in them. So from every level of people that don't even know what a podcast is to actual people who own podcast hosting sites and podcast studios. So I've learned a lot from just being in those groups. And one of the things I've learned is I don't know why I'm doing this. because I've been doing it for years. Now
it's gonna
years.
take a
now,
year.
Earl and I did it solid for almost 2 years. Then we took maybe a year off, and then we came back and we did it solid for another year and a half. And I've been doing it for over 2 years now. So, and getting nowhere as far as getting more listeners. I super appreciate the people that do listen. And I got to tell you, I think about 80% of why I do it is because they are listening.
Yeah,
I think,
and there's been upward swing in views since your NFL conspiracy one. That was a big one. But also, 90% of the shows that you guys used to do were internet problems, computer problems, mic problems.
Well, that was when this show first started when Leroy and Earl hosted the show. Everyone that listened to it, that's what they liked about it. They thought it was hilarious that we were like two bumbling idiots and 90% of what we were doing was actually us screwing up. Now the longer we did it, the more we faked screw. We did fake screwing some stuff up, but there was enough actual screwing up that we didn't have to really fake it. But I keep coming back to this same thought, and that is, and it's not something I need to linger on, so I'm just going to get it off my chest real quick. And the fact is, I still think if Leroy and Earl did the show, it would be good. It would be popular. But he never would stick with it long enough. As soon as we would start to feel some momentum going up, he quit. He did it twice. Twice he did it. And when I go back and listen to the old shows when Leroy and Earl are going at it and they're doing their thing and the characters are calling in, it's different. And it's what we're doing now. There's literally 500,000 shows just like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And
sure.
and just guys talking and blah blah blah, and the people that are more successful are the people that actually hone in on a niche. I was conversing with somebody on Facebook that she's a chef in a restaurant and she cooks high-end meals, so she has a blog and a podcast. She has like 10,000 downloads every episode. You know what I mean?
Just because she talks about her work?
Because there's that many people on the earth that are interested in that topic. But when you just do a general talk radio show like what we're doing with no real topic, you know what I mean? It just leaves us kind of floundering, and I don't know what else to do. We've talked about it before. I don't want to get very specific. Politics I can talk about for a while, but even that gets old. Unless it's something funny. You know what I mean, to talk about, like Bernie Sanders or.
Dude, we got that's. But the sweet thing about it is too. We got a what's it called? What's the called when you want to get to something? Not a goal, but a vision. We got vision. That's what's up.
What is it? What is our vision?
We're gonna get it. That's what I'm saying. We gotta
find it. What is it? You're saying we don't know yet.
I'm saying that we know that we need to have a vision.
Well, I know that I've figured out, and I kind of knew this about myself, but I really figured it out recently, and that is I like producing a podcast more than I like doing a podcast. I like the technical aspect.
So you could be...
What's that?
You're saying you could be the executive producer of our new podcast.
The fact that I'm looking at this basement, and I'm actually considering trying to set it up to rent it out. Because that is an actual market right now. Because so many people want a podcast that have no idea how to do it. People are paying $100 an hour to go do a podcast.
Oh yeah. So
I'm thinking
people will pay someone to just edit their audio and everything too.
I'm just saying $100 an hour for studio time. I'm not talking about editing and getting it on a host site and making up a website and all that stuff. The stuff that I've done, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but the stuff that I've done with our website and the hosting and all that stuff, and it's all free. I've done it all for free. Now, the downside for doing it for free is we don't have any stats. People love stats. All of these podcast host sites, like even Podbean and Blueberry and Buzzsprout and Libsyn, there's all tons of them. They give you stats. You'll know exactly how many people listening to your show, where they're listening to it from, blah, blah, blah. Now, I feel like some of those stats are blown up, but there's an industry now called the IAB. I don't remember what it stands for. It has something to do with internet podcasting. Basically, they're trying to regulate all that so people can't lie to you and stuff. Hey, Joel Brown.
Joel says a comment.
Dr. Brown says a comment. I think
that's what I'm talking about, baby.
I think I'll comment back.
Nice.
So this is pretty cool being on Facebook. I like this. See,
I agree. Except Michelle can't see my comments. So.
We might have to figure that. I wonder if Dr. Brown can see yours. I don't see you're there on Facebook and you're in here with me.
But I went to Facebook on my phone to my personal account and then I commented through Facebook. So I wonder how that works.
I don't know, but it might be something to look into. So, but anyway.
Yeah. We got time.
Yeah, we got.
He's uber late. Yeah, you are, buddy.
Well, it's better being Lyft late. Wow.
Thank you. That was good.
No, but anyway, getting back to what I was saying real quick.
Yeah.
The Leroy and Earl, when they were at their peak, yes, it turned some people off and they didn't like it when they first listened. But the people that hung around, it was like a cult thing. You know what I mean? Like, it is super funny. And the reason why Leroy couldn't do it by himself is because he didn't have Earl to balance him. You know what I mean? I feel like it was this actual balancing act, like Laurel and Hardy or whoever, you know what I mean? Will Smith and that other guy that was in the movies with him. I can't remember his name. I feel like a racist because I don't remember his name. What's his name?
No, I'm just thank you for
Boys.
acknowledging that you feel like a racist.
The Bad Boys movies.
Yeah, what's his name?
Let me think. I can see his face. I just can't remember his name. Anyway.
Just take a guess. Take a guess. Let's just see what you got.
I don't even have a guess. I keep thinking Woody Harrelson. Obviously, I know that's not right.
Woody Harrelson.
I obviously know that's not right.
Would you just take this seriously?
Amazing.
But anyway, I feel like it worked on a different level. Like, and I feel like you don't agree. Although you became a shift head at one of those high points, right?
Like, no, I came on at the return of the show, the second or third time. I'm not sure.
It was the second time, and Earl wasn't there, but he came on shortly after. Like, well, maybe it was like 6 months.
No, when I first started watching, you were Skyping each other.
Okay, so he was there.
Yeah, he was there when I first started watching, and then it progressed to in studio to the changing of the studio 5 different times to adding the third guest.
Tuna was there for like 2 months, maybe.
Yeah,
3 months.
Yeah,
then
that.
But anyway, what I'm saying is you were there at a point when it was Leroy and Earl, and the banter was there, and all that was there, and I mean that you stuck around. You didn't have to listen to it, you know.
Well, I think you're a swell guy, so that kind of has a part to it. Just swell. I don't think you're anything above that, but if I were to rate you on a level of good, swell or bad, you're swell.
Well, I guess I appreciate that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. How would you rate the Leroy and Earl show when Earl was here at the peak?
It was swell.
It was swell. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, the people that liked Leroy and Earl liked Leroy and Earl a lot.
True. Oh yeah. I really like The Room. It's a cult classic.
The Room. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm sure you've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
But it's a cult classic. It's a terrible movie.
So you're saying the Leroy and Earl show was terrible with Leroy and Earl?
I said it was swell.
You're saying now it's terrible. It's a cult classic like The Room.
No, but I'm saying that bad things turn into cult classics and are good things to a certain group of people.
I see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. Now, one of the reasons why we even started it was because we wanted to be different.
Yeah.
We just felt like two guys talking like we're doing right now wasn't going to cut it and wasn't going to make us rich and famous.
Right.
So we decided, boom, to do that. But anyway, guess what? Those days are over. And I don't care what Leroy says calling in here on Podbean while he's bowling.
Yeah.
Earl will never come back to the show. So
we don't like those types of people.
They're never coming back. So
we don't like bowlers around. Look, we got people in here, man. Kendra, Joel, Michelle.
Welcome, Kendra Jones, Dr. Brown. I'm not related to Kendra, by the way.
I am not either.
We do have the same last name. Just thought I'd let you know. But anyway.
Oh, yes, I noticed that. Very good.
Not related. Not all Joneses are related. So
that's great.
Unfortunately, they're all joining at the end of the show, but
I know. Perfect timing. We talked about a lot today, man. I mean, I didn't even get to do. I talked about one thing or two things.
Yeah, we talked. Well, yeah, we hit everything. You got to give us our. Do you got our Urban Dictionary word of the week?
I don't have it up.
You told it to me today.
No, I didn't. That wasn't it. That was an old one.
Well, guess what? You can look it up while we end the show, and I'll dim the music when you're ready. So
thank you.
This has been the Leroy and Earl Show. We're live every week at 7 p.m. now on Facebook and maybe YouTube and on the Podbean app. You can call us at 330-474-WUED. The Big Talker. So, next week's show, we got a real doozy in store for you. It's going to be a good one.
Really?
Yep, it's going to be a good one.
February 26th.
You're listening to the Leroy and Earl Show.
One thing I did discover, by the way, all this bull crap talk about if you play music on your podcast, you get kicked off of iHeartRadio and Spotify. No. We've been on iHeartRadio for like a year, and I didn't know it. And there was full episodes. All I did was play music.
Now look at you.
Yeah. So I was going to try and make a bunch of original music, which takes too much time and doesn't sound that good anyway. So, although the intro was mine, that was 100% me.
It was good. It was a good intro.
Yeah. Pretty good little tune. So, thanks for listening, everyone. Kendra said thank God, and I think it might be the fact that we're ending the show. Now, I happen to know her personally, and I believe that she would make a great guest, and she should come on the show sometime. So, Kendra, if you're ever available at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday night, and you got anything you'd like to talk about, you could be on the Leroy and Earl Show.
Hey,
Come on, man. Get out there.
I've been on here the whole time. Do you know that?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you still bowling?
Well, I never was bowling. I'm just back here drinking Jack and Coke, getting hammered, listening to your crappy show.
Dude, chill. Have you really been there the whole time and you didn't say anything?
Yeah. I'm cool. I got couth, man. I'm cool. I'm not a jerk like Carleeezy.
Hey, take it easy. Whoa. Relax there, man.
Well, what do you expect, man? I tell you, I'm coming after you guys hard. I'm going to start my own podcast.
What?
You heard me right now, right here on this show in front of everybody, in front of Dr. Brown and Dildano, who's not listening live, but he'll hear this tomorrow. I'm going to start my own GD podcast, and I'm taking the name.
What name?
I'm taking Leroy and Earl.
You can't take it. It's mine. I own it. I started it.
Well, I'll call it something else, and you'll be sorry when I'm getting more downloads than you.
Never happens. Dude, I'm going to hang up on you.
Yeah, what?
I really don't know how was still on there.
Amazing.
So you got the word of the day yet? How long does it take to look up the Urban Dictionary word of the day?
I thought we were ending it.
I said look it up, and then when you're ready, I'll turn the music down.
Nah, I don't want to interrupt it. This was a smooth sailing. And
You got 36 seconds. What is it?
Cancel. I'm canceling it.
Oops, you got to turn off the bowling. So you're not going to do it.
I know. I liked how this was going. This was ending very well. You had the Leroy part. I'm not going to interrupt that.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the show then. all the fans who love the Urban Dictionary word of the day who can't look it up on their own are going to be so disappointed in you.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, there I am. I can hear myself now.
That's it, kids. That's the end of the Leroy and Earl Show.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening on Facebook. You guys are the best. We're going to be here every week now at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then. And thanks for listening on Podbean, everyone who listened. And we'll see you next week. And nobody, it still looks like it's live on YouTube. Are you sure you want to end?